Now we will see how to value the put option using the two-step binomial. So this is example, this is the question of two steps binomial. We are using the exactly same question as previous question which we used in the one-step binomial, but we are extending this question for the two-step binomial. So the question is like, assume that downhill pays no dividend. Using this information from the previous example, compute 2-year European call option and 2-year European put option which has a strike price of $20. See, in this example, in this question, they asked to calculate call and put option. So, what we will do, we will calculate the call price of the call using the normal route, and then we will use the call put parity to calculate the value of the put option. In this, we know from the last example, our S0 is 20. Okay, so our first up SU is equal to, we calculated in we had calculated in last example, which is 23, and SD is our 17.40. So how this calculation came? 20 into 1.15. This is the way. This is how we calculated using multiplying by D and U. U for SU. Okay, so this is my first year moment. So now again, see, what was our binomial assumption? Binomial assumption was the price of the stock can move up or down only once in a period. So this is one period, year 1. Now in the year 2, it will again move up and down, up and down. So this is how it works. Okay, so now see what will happen in this case when we will when price will move from year 1 to year 2. So the SU is 23. So what will happen, our SUU, what is SUU? S0, S up and then again up. So SUU is 26.45. How? 23 into 1.15, up move factor. Okay, so how we will calculate then this value? This is SUD, this is S, then up, then down. That's why SUD. Okay, what will be the SUD? This will be 20. How? 23 into 0.87. Okay, now we will calculate SDU. SDU, generally we don't need to calculate SDU because we have the symmetric movement. Because we have the symmetric movement, the SUD and SDU in the two-step binomial will always be equal. So we don't even need to calculate, but just for the sake of understanding, if you want to calculate, you can do it as 17.40 into 1.15. Okay, now we will calculate SDD. SDD is equal to 15.4, 15.14, sorry. So this is 17.40 into 0.87. Now we got our values of this stock. These are the values of the stock. Now we will find out the payoff. Now we will calculate the payoff. Okay, what is the payoff? In first case, SUU. SUU will give me, our strike price is 20 and SUU is 26.45. So SUU will give me payoff of 6.45. Now SUD will have no impact, like it will lapse because the price of SUD or SDU is not exceeding the price, the strike price. So this will give me 0 payoff. SDU will give me 0 payoff and SDD will give me zero payoff. So we got our payoff. Now recall our probabilities. Our up move probability was 0.61 and down move probability was 0.39. Again, so up move is 0.61, this is 0.39. Here if we consider this 0.61 for this portion, up move portion, and this is a down move portion, this is 39. Now how to calculate the expected value of the call in 2 years? First we will calculate the expected value of call in 2 years. So the calculation will be as my payoff SUU 6.45 into, this is the now you have to find out the root. See, first this is up move factor, so first probability 0.61, then again up move factor, so the probability of again up move factor, so 0.61 again. Why? Because there are two probability of ups. Okay, so 0.61 and 0.61, then plus 0 is our next payoff, this, and the probability will be the first up and then down. The probability will be 0.61 into 0.39. Same will happen for other remaining two cases. That in this case this will be 0.39 into 0.61, but again we are multiplying it with 0, hence the answer will be 0. And again in last case also answer will be 0. In last case what we will do, this 0.39 and again down move 0.39, so it will be that like 0.39 into 0.39. Now what is the expected payoff in the 2 years? So our net expected payoff in expected value of the call in 2 years is 2.40. Okay, this is $2.40. So this is the expected call value at the end of the 2 years. Now what will be the expected call value at the beginning of the year? So in the beginning, to calculate the value of the call option value, we have to simply discount the expected payoff at the end of the 2 years. So in this case, now remember, we have what we were doing is e to the power RT. In this case RT is 2 years, so what we will do is e to the power 0.04 into 2, so the answer is $2.21. So this is our today's call price. Now what we have to do to calculate, to find out the value of the put option is simply apply call put parity. Okay, so by using call put parity, again in the last example I told you formula for the call put parity, it is put is equal to call minus stock plus e to the power x is the strike price into e to the power RT. RT is 2 here. So the call is 2.21 minus stock is 20 plus strike price is 20 into e to the power minus 0.04 into 2. So the final answer is 0.67. So this is our value of the put option. Now from the exam perspective, you should expect that these kind of 2 questions will come in exam with the slight variation, which that variation is added with the intention to confuse you. Okay, with this light web, the question will be exactly like you have to solve in the same manner. Now see what is the problem with solving these questions. First of all, the question is very lengthy. This is very time consuming. Okay, but see, they will ask you two questions, so make sure that you at least solve one question out of two. Okay, so also find out that there is a possibility that they will give a very big question. There will be very big question, and there will be huge data, and you might get an illusion that you have to solve the question with the excuse, you might get a confusion that you have to solve the question by using binomial pricing, but it is also possible that that apparent question which is looking like a binomial question, you can solve it by using just a put call parity. Okay, so just find out if you have put value or call value, the price of the call or price of the put, either of them, and you are asked to calculate the opposite one, the other one, then you have to apply, you need to apply call put parity. See, answer will be same in both the cases if you go by binomial method or you go by call put parity method. But difference is you will be able to solve call put parity in just 1 minute, and binomial calculation, if you don't do practice heavily, it takes around 8 minutes. And there are so many steps in the binomial that there is a possibility that one punching mistake in the calculator, one punching mistake in your calculator, and your whole calculation can go wrong. So make sure you do a lot of practice, because see, in exam like FRM, if you are not able to solve the questions which are very certain, like which are confirmed that they will come in exam, then the situation worsens, like from the perspective of passing the exam. Okay, so make sure that you make enough, you do enough practice, and try to find out that in how much time you can calculate it. After this, we will see what happens when in two step binomial, what happens if the option is American option. By this time we were using only and only European option. All the examples we saw before were European options. Now we will see what happens when the option is the American option. There is very good trick in it. So this is also possible that they can ask you with the modification of the American option. Then we will see there are some changes, that the modification of binomial model, how to modify binomial model depending on the circumstances. This modification is not so big, this is very small tricks. So I will tell you that how to solve questions, the modified questions. Okay, and after ending these illustration, we will solve questions. So make sure that you will be able to solve this question in exam. Okay, so next is the American call option.